Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate rental properties with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here is your host, Dustin Heiner.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name is Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you learn how to quit your job by investing in real estate rental properties so you never have to work a job again. And you know what job stands for? It's JOB. That's just over broke. And that is something that you can absolutely get out of by buying one rental property that makes you $250 or more every single month. You can also buy 2 properties or 3 or 10 properties. Now, just imagine if you had 10 properties making you $250 or more every single month, you would absolutely be making $2,500 every single month in passive income. Wouldn't that just be absolutely fantastic? Now, in today's show, we're going to be talking all about how you can actually quit your job, how you can invest in real estate rental properties, how you can buy property after property, prepare your life for investing in real estate, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, I also want you to get started investing in real estate, and I'm going to give you my free course. I want you to text the word rental to 33777, and I will give you my free downloadable course that you'll be able to download and start reading and learning and understanding how to invest in properties, how to find the right properties, how to calculate all the numbers, how to make sure that you're buying the right properties, running all the properties right, getting the right property managers, and everything it takes to invest in real estate and create a successful business. I'm going to give that to you. Text the word rental to 33777. Now, here's something that I've been thinking about for quite a while now. See, I coach students and I show them how to invest in real estate. And I show them how to find properties, how to buy properties. I literally walk them through the process. I'm the coach showing them how to analyze deals, actually analyzing deals with them, analyzing all the inspections, basically doing everything with them. And so with the coaching, it's fantastic. I love working with my students. They are terrific. And what's interesting though is I actually have to turn a lot of students away. It's really rather sad. After talking with them, after seeing where they are, they might have a lot of debt. They might have very little income or very little savings for investing, but they really, really want to invest in real estate. Now, the sad thing is they're not ready. They're not ready to invest, and I have to turn them away. And I literally tell them, well, you need to do a few things. You need to increase your income. You need to cut your expenses. You need to get rid of your debt. You need to get your credit score better. You need to save for investing. And after you do all that, in a year, we can come back and you can actually start working with me. Now, I've actually had students do that, where I give them a game plan. And the entire year, they're working really, really hard. And after that, they have $10,000 saved and they're ready to start investing. And they're ready to get their first investment. And then I can work with them. And then I bring them on as a coaching student. It's absolutely fantastic because we can get started. Now, usually, if you don't have $10,000 to invest in real estate, that is basically, for me and my coaching students, that's the bare minimum. That's the bottom line. If you don't have $10,000, then it's going to be really, really hard. Now, it's possible. It's very possible to actually do it. But what's sad is it's very, very hard. They say that you can buy properties with low and no money down. Well, that's absolutely possible, but it's so hard. There's a reason why hardly anybody does it. It's because it's a very, very hard process, and it's so much easier when you have money of your own. You have your own money to invest, or you have other people that can help you with investing and give you money as a loan, and you can buy properties. Now, what was really interesting, as I'm turning away students, I'm realizing there's a gap here. There's so many people that want to invest, but not everybody actually can. So there's something missing. And that something missing is something that I want to help fill that gap. I want to get people out of, where they're wanting to invest but can't, to where they actually can. So I'm going to create a brand new product. It's basically going to be a membership program where we're going to be going after our first investment. So the program, the membership is going to be called Your First Investment. It's not out yet. I've been working on it for quite a while now, but it's going to be where we're going to be working on getting your first investment. Now, what you need to realize though is your first investment is in you. It's in your knowledge. It's in your education. It's also in you understanding how to be financially savvy, how to be financially alert, and have financial education so that you can save money, so that you can buy properties. And so what I'm doing, and I want you to watch out for this next maybe week or 2 weeks, I will eventually open it up where I'm going to be working with groups of people, basically everybody that comes in the membership. I'm going to be working with you. I'm going to be showing you how to get your first investment. And remember, your first investment is in you. The second investment is in your first property. So our goal in the first investment membership is to get you to where you can buy that first property. My goal is to get you to $10,000 of your money saved up so you can buy that first property. And it's just a matter of following through these steps. And just watch out for this. In a few weeks, I'm going to be releasing this. I'm going to be launching it. It's going to be open. I'm going to open up for maybe a week or two, bringing people in because it's going to be something that it's going to take a lot of my time. And as I'm working in it, I am going to actually be working with you if you are in it, but I have to close it down because I can only allow so many people into the membership. And just watch for that, but you'll get plenty of advance notice so you can get inside that membership. And I want you to get started. And as soon as we open that up, you will be able to jump in there and you will be able to learn how to get your first investment, which is in you. At the same time, I'm going to be teaching you how to build your business, how to find properties and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do that all wrapped in one. But remember, we're going to be going after your first investment. That is in you. Getting you to the point where you can invest. Then we're going to get our first property. Our first investment is in you. And our first property is our property where we're making $250 or more every single month. Now, let's talk about how we can actually quit our job with rental properties. And that's what this show today is about. And it's going to give you a map. And the reason why I'm doing this one episode is because I'm giving you a map of what you're going to need to do in the future. And in the membership, we're going to dive deep in every single bit of this. We're going to work through getting your credit right. We're going to work through getting out of debt. We're going to work through getting more money, cutting your expenses, and making you build the business first. That's what we're going to do is we're going to build the business and then we're going to buy properties. As we're looking at this whole process of quitting your job, keep in mind that your life will dramatically be changed because you do not depend on a job anymore. You will now be financially independent, financially free, and be able to do whatever you want. Now, I personally love to travel. I take my family everywhere, and we've gone to Japan for 6 weeks. We've gone to Europe for 6 weeks. If you listen to my prior podcast, I was actually recording in places like Germany or France or Ireland, England. I was actually recording my podcast in those places because I didn't need a job. I was traveling all around, and I still wanted to reach out to you in my podcast. So I was doing that on there on the entire trip. Now, think of your life if you wanted to live in Hawaii. Let's say you love surfing and you want to go move to Hawaii, but you can't because you don't have a job, and you can't because you don't have money to live there. Well, the beauty of real estate rental property is you're not locked down to any specific location, any state, any country for that matter. You can move to Germany, Austria, you can move to Africa, you can move anywhere you want and never need to work a job again because you have money coming in every single month. Now, a little bit about me, I started investing in 2007. And in 2007, the economy was going up and the real estate bubble that burst in 2008, 2009 was almost at the very top. And I started investing at that time. And you know what? I still own some properties that I bought at that time, as well as they're still making me money. And the reason why I still make money from them is because I invest in passive income. Cash flow, cash that comes in my pocket every single month. Now, when I get a property, I fix it up, I get it rented, and I make sure that I make enough money every single month from the rents minus expenses that comes into my pocket. And that helps me to live the lifestyle that I want. We all know it's all about designing your life the way we want to live it, or the way you want to live your life. Gone are the days where you had to live and work in a job for 30 years and eventually hopefully retire there and have a pension. Those days are gone. I don't know, and I don't believe they're going to be coming back. Now it's all about being an entrepreneur, being somebody that creates out of nowhere. And buying a real estate rental property is the fastest and best way to start your passive income business. Now, I started in 2007, bought my first property, and then waited a little bit, maybe 6 months, and then bought my second property. It took another 6 months and bought my third property. But after 6 years, I literally had 19 properties that were each bringing me close to $300 to $400 a month in passive income in just 6 years. And I will say that I did bypass lots of luxuries and bypass going on vacations. Like our one vacation a year would be to drive from Fresno, California to Phoenix, Arizona, a 600-mile trip each way to see my in-laws, my wife's parents, once a year. That was our vacation in those 6 years, to 6 to 7 years. Then after that, because I had enough money coming in, I was able to go on 6-week trips to Japan, or a 6-week trip to Europe, or go on a 2-week trip to Alaska. I've gone to 2-week trips to Boston, 2-week trip down in the south of not South America, but South states in America, all the way through Texas, from Arizona and back. And it's been tremendous because I now can live the life that nobody else can because I sacrificed in the beginning. Now, what I want to do we're going to go through these steps that you're going to need to take to quit your job with real estate rental properties, remember that it does take time, it does take patience, and it does take perseverance. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, go ahead and shut this podcast off because that's not what this is all about. This is about becoming wealthy. Wealthy meaning you don't just have money, you also have assets, you also have a business, you also have companies that are working with you, giving you money. So there's so many great things about real estate rental properties that you will be able to live your life however you want it. So to get into the idea about quitting your job with real estate rental properties, we need to look at a few things. And as we go down through this list, and now this is how I teach all of my students and encourage them in going through this process. It's actually really simple, but until you've actually done it, you don't realize that it's this simple. I mean, it's super, super simple. It's not like you need to flip 100 properties in order to have enough money to live off of. No, it's not that. It's you buy one property that makes you $250 or more a month, and that comes into your pocket whether you work or not. Okay, so let's jump into this process and the steps that you need to take in order to quit your job with real estate. Now, your first one would be to calculate your monthly expenses. So you as a person, maybe as a family, however it might be, but all the money that comes out of your pocket every single month, you need to figure out what that is. Now, that is normally called a budget. Like you would go through, itemize all your expenses, and you would budget out how much money you bring in and how much money goes out. But this is the first part of it, is calculating all your expenses. Now, you need to include things like your mortgage if you own a house, your rent if you're renting instead of owning, your utilities that you have around the house, your electricity bill, your cell phone, any food that you would bring in for the entire month, your automobile expenses, gasoline, tire changes, oil maintenance, all that sort of stuff, student loans, credit card debt, any other debt that you might have out there, your car insurance or medical insurance or medical expenses, like if you need to buy medicine every single month. Your entertainment, because we all know we're going to go to movies, we're going to do fun things. You need to figure out how much you spend in entertainment. You also need to look at your household items, the things that you normally go through in a typical day in your house, toilet paper to shampoo, all that sort of stuff. You want to get a good idea of how much money goes out of your pocket every single month, and that is calculating your monthly expense. Now, in calculating your monthly expense, you're going to be able to see how much money you need to bring in from your rental properties in order to quit your job. Now, once your income from your business, your real estate rental property business, exceeds your expenses, then you could effectively quit your job. You literally don't need to work anymore because you have the money coming in. So what I want you to look at is and work with your spouse. If you have a spouse, work with him or her and make sure that you have everything accounted for. But you want to give yourself a good understanding of what your monthly expenses are. Now, let's just say you're an average family that has an average expense of $3,500 a month total. That's including everything. Some people will be more, some people will be less, but that is a general number that we're going to use for the purposes of this podcast episode so you can see the round numbers. So let's say the $3,500 is how much money comes out of your pocket every single month in the form of expenses. Now, you also, on top of that, the second point is on top of finding out how much your monthly expenses are, you need to start saving for the future. This is part number 2 or step number 2. You need to start saving for the future, investing. Now, more than likely, if you're like most people, like me as well, you don't save. Now, there are some people that actually do save, that have been taught from very young age to save. But a lot of people in today's world don't save. They live from paycheck to paycheck. I'm no different, living from paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to encourage you to start saving at least 2 to 5% of your paycheck. So let's just round numbers. If you are making $1,000 per paycheck, take out $20 a month and put it towards savings. That's called paying yourself first. You want to take that $20 out, put it in your savings account, and save that until you have enough money to buy a property, which we'll get to in a little bit. The next thing would be to cut your expenses. Now, let's say you have a really fancy car where you're paying $400 or $500 a month in a note, a car loan on the car. Now, with that car loan, you have a $400 to $500. Let's just round it up. You have a $500 a month car loan. It could be advisable, it could be wise to say, sell that car or do something where you don't have that payment anymore on that car and buy a car that has a $250 a month note payment on it instead of a $500. That's $250 a month cut out. Now, I understand, completely understand you're cutting out on a luxury that you have. You may love your car. I completely understand that. But to get there faster, you would be able to cut out expenses so that you have more money to invest. Now, I'm going to say after 9 years of investing, I was able to quit my job and I was able to buy whatever car I want because I had so much money coming in. I didn't have to worry about it. Now, you want to get to that place as soon as possible where you had enough money coming in where you didn't have to worry about it. So I'm going to encourage you to cut expenses. You know more or better than I do about your expenses and where you can cut. Maybe you go out to eat every other night. Maybe start eating at home 5 nights out of the week and eat out 2. Or maybe you eat out for lunch every single day when you're at work. Instead of that, bring a sack lunch. It's going to be a bummer. I completely understand that. But I'm going to tell you, from a person that is on the back end, now having sacrificed all those things, now I can eat out every single day. Now I can buy whatever car I want. Now I can go on vacations all I want because I sacrificed. Along with cutting your expenses, I'm going to encourage you to figure out a way to increase your income. Now, again, this is all about trying to make sure that you get more money in your pocket so you can buy properties. So let's say you have a job where you work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Of course, that's going to be able to pay your bills and take care of your rent or mortgage and things like that. But let's say you wanted to start a business that was, doing a blog where you try to make money from a blog. You start an e-commerce business. Or with this new car that you buy that gets hopefully 45 miles to the gallon, you start driving for Uber or Lyft and you start making extra income on the side. Well, put all that money into savings so you can use that to buy properties. Now, I will say that there are ways to buy, because I know this is probably coming up a lot of your minds, that there are ways to buy properties with low or no money down. There are ways to do that, but that is super duper hard to find properties with low or no money down. I'm not saying it's impossible at all. I'm saying it's absolutely possible. I've done it, but it's really, really hard. It takes a lot of work. It's so much easier just to have cash and go up to a seller and say, hey, I'm going to buy it for this, or this is my offer. It's all cash. And they say yes, because they love cash. Sellers love cash. Now, I'm explaining all this process of saving because cash is so much easier to buy things. But at the same time, You want to be on the lookout for other ways to buy properties through mortgages, through borrowing from family members, through getting seller financing, things like that, and that is a huge ball of wax all in itself, a whole nother lesson that we're not going to get into, but I have talked extensively about it in another podcast. Go and listen to that podcast, and then you can hopefully see many different ways to then start buying properties, not just with cash, but with also other means. But in the meantime, step number 2 was to increase your savings, basically cutting your expenses, increasing your income, start saving money, figuring out a way to get more money into savings so you can put money down on a property. As I've talked about in many other podcast sessions, that you can buy homes with 3.5% down with an FHA loan, a Federal Housing Administration loan. If you put 3.5% down on a $100,000 house, that's only $3,500. You can easily, I know you can. I know you might be thinking it's hard to save up $3,500. I understand that. But I know if you sacrificed, you could. And then once you buy that house, you're not throwing away money into renting a home. So cut out your expenses, increase your income, start saving for future investing. Next, number 3, find your target income. This is the next step. In finding your target income, you want to know, number 1, your expenses, which that equates into your target income. So your expenses, but you also want to look at your future spending. Like, do you want to travel the world? Do you want to move to Hawaii? Do you want to spend more time with your family? What do you want to do, and how much money is it going to take to live that lifestyle? Put that number in there. Let's say you're bringing in $3,500 a month, and you know you want to bring in an extra $500 a month that's going to go to future spending. Like $500 a month, you're going to be able to go to a movie every single day, or whatever it might be. But make sure you add that in there so you know what to shoot for. Another thing that people tend to miss, but I want to encourage you to do, is to add future investing in there as well. So savings for future investing. So don't just account for your expenses. Don't just account for future spending that you might do, but account for future investing. So imagine you're still bringing in $250 extra a month because you got rid of that car payment. That $250 a month coming in, you're putting that away. If you're already bringing in $250 a month and putting that away into savings, don't stop that. Continue to do that, because you're going to keep building this business over time. And if you are smart, which I know you are because you're listening to this podcast, and you want to change your life, you will want to build your business till the day you die. You're going to want to continually build a business because it's so easy. It literally takes me 3 hours to find, buy, and get a property rented and make money from it because I have other people doing it. Whole nother lessons I could talk about right now, but it'll go way into in depth, and I have other podcasts you can go check out. But what I'd say is find your target income, which also includes future spending and future investing. Make sure you have your target income. Now, let's say your expenses are $3,500 and you want to get to $4,000. You want your income to come to $4,000. Well, you need to find enough properties that bring in passive income every single month that gives you $4,000 a month. Now, step number 4, locate a good area of the country to start investing. Now, I talk extensively on this, which I'm just going to briefly touch on it right now. But if you go to my episode where I talk about this, masterpassiveincome.com/005, I talk all about finding a new area of the country to live in and how to find that and what to look for. It's really a great way to invest outside of your area. Now, I know a lot of people get scared. Oh no, I'm going to go out of my comfort zone. It's going to be miles and miles or thousands of miles away. I'm not going to be able to see the property. How am I going to make sure it's taken care of and all this sort of stuff? Well, property managers are the way to go. I invest all over the country, and I have property managers everywhere running my business, and I don't do any work. It's absolutely fantastic. So if you can invest in your area where you can find good properties that rent, where you can make money every single month in passive income, go ahead and buy in your neighborhood. That's totally fantastic. But if you can't, as I did when I was in California, when I first started investing, I could not buy. So I started looking in other places. The first state that I started investing in was in Ohio. That's thousands of miles away, but I bought my first property there because it was so much cheaper and I can make money every single month, where in California, I absolutely couldn't. So locate a good area of the country, start investing. Step number 5 is build a real estate team that will help you build your business. Now, again, I'm going to have to say, all these steps, there's so many steps involved that I'm going to refer back to other podcast lessons. Now, you just go back and find them and listen to them, and you're going to learn every single step of the way because I detail exactly how to do all these steps. But build a real estate team that will help you build your business. Basically, get a property manager, get a number of realtors, like 5, 6, 7 that are looking for properties for you. Find contractors, find inspectors, find plumbers, find roofers, find all these different people that are going to do work for you. You're going to pay them, obviously, but you are not going to have to do any work. Your company is going to do all the work for you. So step number 5 is build a real estate team that will help you build your business. And that in that specific area that we just talked about in step number 4, in that specific area where you want to start investing. Now, next, number 6, let's look at how many properties you're going to need in order to quit your job. So how to determine how many properties you need? Well, it's super easy. Now, I'm going to give you a tip that I give all my students. Here's the tip, do not buy any rental property that does not make you $250 or more in passive income. Not $100, not $50, not even $200. I mean, $200 is still great, but I'm going to encourage you to wait until you find a property that makes you $250 a month or more. And they're out there. I know you might say, well, how do I get that? All the properties that I'm looking at, there's no way I'm going to be able to make that. I completely agree. You have to be diligent. You have to find properties that are off market. You have to talk sellers into coming down. You have to do some good work to get these prices lower. But once you do, you're going to find that there is plenty of fish in the sea. There are so many properties out there that you just need to wait for the deal to pop up and jump on it when that deal comes. So to determine how many properties you need, let's look at $250. Now, I know it's hard. We're on the podcast, and maybe you might be driving right now or doing yard work or something like I normally do when I listen to podcasts. But $250, even though we're going to talk about numbers, just kind of bear with me. $250 is how much you're going to shoot for every single home that you buy, a minimum. Now, I actually would say try to get $300. $300 is so much better. Obviously, the more money, the better. But let's just go with $250. Now, $250, remember, your expenses and target income that we talked about was $4,000. Remember, you had $3,500 initially in expenses, but then you wanted to add on another $500 for future investing and future spending. So that's a $4,000 total in income that you need to take care of. Now, the $250 is how much that actually comes into your pocket as profit every single month. Now, remember, your target income's $4,000. Well, you are bringing in $250 a month from every single property. Now, to calculate how many properties you have, it's super, super simple. All you do is you take your target income, which was $4,000, divide that by $250 a month, and that's your target income for how much you're going to be getting from each property, $250 a month in passive income that goes in your pocket every single month. Now, take $4,000 and divide that by $250. That comes up with 16 properties. If you were to buy a total of 16 properties and own a total of 16 properties and get them rented, you would have a passive income of $4,000 a month. And remember that $250 is net income after all of your business expenses every single month. So you're not going to need to worry about any expenses outside of that because you are already taking care of that. You're already accounting for that. So that $4,000 is divided by $250, which gives you 16 properties that you need to buy to get to your target income of $4,000 a month. Now, there are so many other expenses and so many other things that you need to learn in order to get this process down where you're going to do it right and not lose money, which you go to my website, masterpassiveincome.com. But one quick thing that I want to talk about is sometimes it's hard to actually get started to buy that first property, to really know what you're doing and to do it right. Now, this is something that I teach all my students and I teach all the time. I love working with new investors and even seasoned investors how to start their business and to grow their business so that they can quit their job. Now, what I do is I actually do coaching as well as I have an online course that's full of hundreds of videos on there that are going to walk you through the entire process from beginning to end. And with my coaching as well, I will actually work with you to find properties, to build your business, and make sure you're buying the right property and not buying the wrong properties, getting them rented. I'll work with you through all that stuff. So if you're interested in coaching or my online course that's going to walk you through all that sort of stuff, go to my website, masterpassiveincome.com. And at the top, there's a link that says courses. Click on that link. It'll take you to where you can find the online courses that I have, that I share all the processes in order to get a business up and running with real estate, as well as my coaching package, where I give you access to me, one-on-one access, where I help you from the ground up, from beginning to end, building your business. So in everything, investing-wise, I have everything for you from beginning to end. Hopefully you're going to get started. I'm encouraging you to get started because just look at my life and how amazing it is, where I can travel the world. I don't have to work a job. I can go and do whatever I want. That is where you want to be. And I'm encouraging you to just jump in there, take advantage of everything that I have for you so you can get your first property or your 10th property or even your 100th property. Let's keep going. Let's get this business running. Now let's go into the next step. Remember, the last step was determine how many properties you needed. Now, if you needed $4,000 a month at $250 a month per property, that's 16 properties. So we've already determined you would need 16 properties. Now, I know that might seem like, oh, wow, 16 properties. I don't even have one, let alone 16. How do I get there? Well, I'm going to tell you, it took me 6 years to get to 16 properties that were making me $250 a month. Honestly, 6 years is not a long time to where your life will be dramatically changed. You can stomach anything for 6 years to have the amazing dream life when you're done. Okay, so that's step number 6. Step number 7 is buy your first property. Just buy one property. Get your beak wet, basically, as it were. Basically, get started so you can get to see what it's like earning that passive income. Because trust me, as soon as you make money from that first rent check of passive income coming in, where you look at your check and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't do a thing and I'm making money. Imagine how it would be with 16 properties where you get a $4,000 check every single month from those properties. So step number 7 is buy your first property. Just buy one property. In doing that, it'll get that ball rolling. Now, the first property is always the hardest. It's always the hardest to get past the fear, to build the business, to find and make sure you have the right property, all that sort of stuff. And I want to be there for you. So again, like I said, go to my courses page and check everything that I have for you. The next step would be number 8, save your money for the next property. Now, I know it's going to be hugely tempting where a $250 check coming in every single month. Hey, let's go watch more movies, or let's go to dinner more often, or let's spend that money. Well, what that's actually doing is that's taking away your ability to grow even bigger, even faster. So if you save that extra $250 a month, that's more money you can put towards buying another property. So if you're already saving $250 by, remember, getting rid of that one car and getting one that's cheaper, and you're saving $250 a month, if you add that extra $250 a month, that's $500 a month that you're saving towards buying a new property. Now, here's the next step after saving money for the next property. Step number 9 is continue to buy properties as soon as you have the financial ability and the opportunity to do so. So continue to buy, continue to go after the next property. Number 1, you need to have the financial ability, whether that's cash in the bank, or you have an investor, or you have a family member, or you have a mortgage that you're going to get. You need to have the financial ability to buy a property. Number 2 is the opportunity to do so. If you don't have any properties that are going to make you $250 a month, don't buy a property. But what you need to be doing is building your business so that you find leads from other realtors, from wholesalers, from people that are in the game, that are actually looking for properties and finding properties. You want them to give you deals so that when the deal is right, you can jump on it. You don't have to look past an opportunity because you don't have the ability and the financial ability and the knowledge to do so. So continue to buy properties as soon as you have the financial ability to do so. And along with that goes with step number 8. Every single property that you buy, all that extra $250 a month. So if you buy 4 properties, that's $1,000 a month extra in your pocket every single month coming in. Don't spend that money. I mean, obviously spend a little, or don't feel like you can't spend any money at all. But I want to say that the longer you delay the gratification of spending the money, the quicker you can quit your job. The quicker you have all those 16 properties so you can live the dream life. So we're taking a quick step back in step number 8, where you do not want to spend your money until you have enough money to quit your job. So save all of that money. Imagine saving $1,500 or $2,000 every single month in a savings account that you can buy your next property. And as you can imagine, this becomes a snowball. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And pretty soon you can't stop the money from coming in. It's so amazing. Now, step number 10 is scale up your business by refinancing older properties as you grow to have more funds. Now, I have a huge, extensive podcast lesson on this. This is masterpassiveincome.com/006. If you go to this one, I talk about how you can dramatically increase your business and your business growth and your income by refinancing, by using other people's money. OPM is other people's money. So in that episode, you're going to learn how to build and grow your business by using other people's money. OPM, other people's money. So refinance other properties, older properties that you've had for a number of years. So let's say at year 5, you have the first property that has equity in it now. Refinance that money, pull it out so that you can use that cash from that property. Remember, it's a loan, so it's not taxable income. It's a loan, so you're never paying taxes on that. Use that to buy another property. It's amazing how fast you can grow a business by using other people's money. All right, step number 11. Repeat the process until you have enough properties to replace your income. Like I said, if you need 16 properties, keep doing this until you get 16 properties. And like I did in my personal experience, in 6 years, I had enough properties to quit my job. I had enough properties that replaced my income as well as got to my target income that I needed. All right, number 12, here's a bonus lesson I want to give you, is to escape from your job adequately. And this is for far future, wherever you are right now, I know you got a long road to go, but in the far future, I have a book that I wrote called Successfully Unemployed. This book is going to show you how to prepare for a life without a job, because everybody is so secure having a job, a regular paycheck coming in every single month where it feels good. Like, you have a paycheck coming in. You can count on it, obviously, unless you get fired or laid off or something. But as long as you're working, you're going to get a paycheck. Getting rid of that paycheck, that security blanket, that's going to go away. There's a lot of concern that comes up. So in my book, Successfully Unemployed, it's on Amazon. If you want to buy it, go to my website as well as if you want to buy it there too. But I have 16 different lessons that teach you. And these are all the things that I learned, that I had to learn the hard way in order to quit my job. Things like growing your business even bigger before you quit, having the drive of an entrepreneur, working on your business rather than in your business, and finding the right time to quit your job, living on your business income as opposed to your work income. There's so many different lessons that are put in this book that are going to help you to be ready so that when you actually do quit, you are going to do it successfully and become successfully unemployed. And the third step is obviously the best. Quit your job. Quit your job when you have it. When you have the money coming in, enough money coming in, quit your job. I actually waited a year longer than I probably should have. I could have quit, but I didn't because I was gun shy. I was like, oh no, the security blanket of having a paycheck is so great. And I have lots of money from my paycheck and I have lots of money from my property. So I have lots of money. Now, what happened to me was I realized I'm actually losing money by working my job. And the reason why I say that is because even though I'm making, I was making $45 an hour, $50 an hour, something like that, which is good money, don't get me wrong, but I'm actually losing money because I make more money investing in real estate per hour than I ever would from any job. I think I make something like thousands of dollars an hour. If I buy one house, it takes me 3 hours to buy it. Well, in 1 month, if that property makes me $250, 3 hours of that, what does that come out to? Those 3 hours are going to make me close to $84 an hour. Imagine me spending my time working for $45 an hour when I make $83 an hour, and that was just from 1 month of rent of $250. Imagine a lifetime of owning that property. If after 10 years of having that property, I'm making $1,000 from those 3 hours of work. Hopefully you're seeing the picture that quitting your job sooner rather than later is better because you actually can use your time to build your business even faster. Now, like I said, what you want to make sure is that you get your target income. You don't want to quit too soon where you don't have enough money, but as soon as you have enough money,
quit your job. Don't put it off. Trust me, it's so much better not having a job. And I know you understand that, but pulling that trigger to say, boss, I quit, it's harder to do than not. And once you actually do it though, you're going to be so relieved and you're going to realize I should have done this even sooner.
And that is it for this episode. Now keep on the lookout for an email from me and also be listening to this. I'll put everything, all the links inside the description as well. So go in the description and see everything that's going to be going on. But really soon, I'm going to be opening up my membership for you to get your first investment. And I want you to get started. I don't want to have to turn you away. When you are ready to start investing, we're going to be investing in real estate rental property so we can quit our JOB. Now remember, go out and get my free real estate investing course. Text the word rental to 33777. That's RENTAL to 33777. You are fantastic. I'm going to help you, and we're going to get there where you are quitting your job because you have real estate rental properties and never work a job again. All right, guys, I'll see you next week for another fantastic show where we talk about rental properties. All right, we'll see ya.